Hinton, West Virginia is a city that celebrates its railroad history. From its railroad museum and its popular Railroad Days Festival to its historic rail yard district, part of Hinton's downtown that's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The city exists because the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway chose it as a location for one of its main division points back in the 1870s, and over the years the city grew up around it.
Served still by freight railroad running along the New River right behind us, but standing right here, this used to be railroad tracks that led past the freight depot on this side, as well as the Hinton Ice House and some other industrial buildings along this side of the row. And it's recognized for decades the value in preserving and redeveloping many of these historic buildings. The rail yard district, repurposing it from a purely industrial part of town in its old function with the trains that came through the middle of it into a more mixed-use commercial and hopefully light manufacturing, workforce training, really mixing in a lot of the aspects of the economy that Hinton and Summers County are aiming to attract.
The old Hinton Ice House is the latest property to begin the process of renovation. Built over a century ago, it served as a meatpacking facility, a wholesale grocery, and a cold storage facility. In 1958, it was converted into an ice-making plant that operated through 2008. It was purchased by the city in 2015, and then ownership passed on to the New River Gorge Regional Development Authority in order to pursue funding for the necessary environmental remediation.
So we've been partnering with the city now going on 5 years through the application process, the receiving of the grant, and now in the last stages of the remediation. We expect to complete the remediation of the site adjacent to the building by summer of next year, 2025.
The Regional Development Authority has done market analysis and feasibility studies to determine how the building can best be reused.
Something along the lines of a commercial kitchen that can help food system entrepreneurs hone in their skills, hone in their products, value-added products, and so it may one day again be somewhat of an ice house, a cold storage facility for local produce to be rendered into value-added products. It also is hopefully going to serve as a complement to the freight depot, which the city did an excellent job redeveloping up to historic standards. And it serves currently as an event space, not only for municipal events, but also it can be rented privately and often is. So it would serve, hopefully, potentially as a kitchen space, which the freight depot doesn't have.
And thanks to its location and historical significance, prospective developers may be able to access additional resources through the use of historic tax credits.
One of the best ways to preserve the feel and the history of a place is to redevelop historic properties. Luckily, alongside the funding that the EPA can provide for remediation projects, brownfield remediation, the National Park Service oversees the historic preservation tax credits. And so buildings like the Hinton Ice House, like the freight depot beside it, are eligible within the Hinton Historic District for those tax credits to help recoup some of the construction costs. And so while the cheapest thing for a development project may be a new build, luckily there are these incentives and programs that help to balance that bottom line of development costs, and in the process preserve things that are really hard to assign a value to, like the history of the building itself. And another cool parallel between historic preservation and brownfields is in that first step, in the phase one environmental site assessment process. You have to look at the history of a building and of a site to determine what its uses were and the likelihood that some of those uses may have contributed to contamination. So in doing so, we already have a thorough history of the site itself, and we hope to really include the details of the building's history in its redevelopment moving forward.
To find out more about how the DEP's voluntary remediation program helps communities redevelop properties to aid in economic development while protecting the environment, visit our website, dep.wv.gov. For Environment Matters, I'm Mike Huff in Hinton. Thanks for watching.